Hey guys, I'm gonna start over again. Hey guys, I'm gonna do a live video. I think it's gonna be live, probably about 10 o'clock today. Gotta make a stop real quick here in the morning here. Um, let me put that up. I can't show the job site. So the I'm gonna talk about groupthink. I go over there and I troll over there to those engine tips site. They have groupthink. If you guys Google groupthink, you'll see a desire to create harmony is what groupthink is about. The problem with creating harmony is now you create groupthink, and you can't come out of that box. If you come out of that box, that group punishes you by kicking you out of the group. If you go over there, they're all on the same page. One just sort of supports the other in a roundabout circle. It's like, it's groupthink. This is what it looks like in engineering. This is how the failure happened. One person after another just threw in with groupthink on this thing, and now you can see what it looks like in real life as it's trying to be evaluated. These are supposed to be, some of them, real structural professional engineers over there in that group, and professional engineers over here too. So, of course, you guys know I love psychology. So, if anybody, if I attack my my viewers here, I apologize. It is going to be coming off as an attack to you also. There's nothing we can do. Psychology is psychology. So once you feel the attack, you feel the attack, and all you can do is attack back. So sure thing, go right ahead and write it down there, and I'll accept it. I'll accept it as my counterattack from you guys. All right, to the topic at hand is that, and that is part of the topic, is that once you own something in your mind, it's impossible to change it unless you can accept new data and accept that you'll have to change one of your original positions. This is why frequently you'll hear me always state I'm willing to change with the data. That's because I temporarily made what I call a temporary conclusive file. It's not temporary if I just make a statement. It's a conclusive file at that point, pretty much, unless I give a tag on psychologically with my files by saying I reserve the right to add more data to this or let the data change my position. You frequently heard me say I'll change with the data presented. And you even heard me say that I'll even go with shear sliding off the deck once the data is presented. So far, no data has been showed. Now, I said I'm going to show this video around 10 o'clock, so I know I get monitors from the engine tip guys because I get 3 thumbs down minimum every video, and then some of my stuff pops up over there after I comment in a different around way. I take that as a good thing, except for they're missing the number one thing I'm showing is that shear. There is no sliding shear here. They're missing the video. The real content that was there shows it didn't happen. I'm going to show this today, and I'm going to show, and I'm going to do attack now. I'm going to show these groupthink idiots. So it's not their fault that they're in groupthink. They're psychologically suckered because they fell into a groupthink. You got to be careful. Now, I'm going to show what shear looks like with the sliding shear of number 11, if it was possible, how it interacts with 12. It does not interact in the capacity that they're showing it in the photographs and even in the report. That would not interact that way. You would have to get, as the report shows, D1 to basically cow down. D1 would have to cow down. The forces would have to cow down. Cowing down like that, didn't you create an inverted V the other direction? Because it's now the forces are still high and low. And it's an inverted V, not the way they have it. But nevertheless, we don't have, it's theoretical at this point. We do have proof that D1L, that's to the left as you look at the rear of the bridge, appears to be part of this failure in that I see spalling on the side of it. Now, I'm going to show you 2 shears. The number 1 shear I'm going to show you is that number 12. If you look at the back of this system, the bridge system, you'll see that it's a girder. Pretend like you have a giant column sitting on top of a girder. What would that column look like if that girder was to fail? What would the girder look like if that column was to fail? All right. Go around that back side, yeah. So then what would that look like? Well, it would look like the shear we're looking at. and we can and I can create movement with that. The column of 12 is not touching the deck. I can create the failure by allowing for movement. Excuse me. OSHA and everyone else cannot create the movement. You can speak if you like. Somebody just popped in. OSHA and everyone else. I can't show you where I am. I'm running around job sites. I apologize talking to you looking at the sky. So OSHA and the group think, guys, you got to start the video over to understand where I'm going to go with this. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to do a live video, and I'm going to explain a lot more, and I'm going to show how, using the video also and the content we have with the bridge failure, I'm going to show how the cables interacted with the failure at the end of number 11, including the concrete. And unlike OSHA, like the engine group tips, I am not going to do deductions for something that clearly is present. In other words, post-tension bars A and B. I will not pretend like they don't exist. I will not pretend like the rebar that's in the bottom deck does not exist. I know it existed. I know it interacted. If it did not interact, we would see rebar in the stirrup format standing up on the bottom of the deck. We know it's not there. And it's never presented itself as there. I wish I had closer photographs so I could see it where it was, at least the stirrups were there. Or if they're not there, it's okay, because they possibly have plans that change the stirrup setup, and it wasn't. With all that said, the abutment, the backspan would have been the abutment for number 12, the grout underneath of 12. People are confusing shims with grout. Shims are the white members you see down there, those white cushions, if you will, nylon, whatever they're made of. I forget. But there's a receipt online somewhere of the darn things. That's what the bridge sits on. On the other opposite end, it just sits on bigger pads, round, and appear to be round. And they have also a spacing that's significantly larger than the spacing on the feld side. Again, the difference is between 1 and 2 are major differences. Their columns are not the same. The base on number 1 is, I don't know, 3 foot by 4 foot. The base on our feld end is only 2 foot wide. Remember, it needed room for the backspan. So the engineering accounted for it, but it's just a misstep on the engineer. And also MCM and FIU's representative BPA, all these professional engineers not seeing this ahead of time about that, about, wow, we need to really address this first. Why? Because they didn't really understand the structure. They didn't understand the critical points of it. Like you understand a car. You can't go out there with one tire low on a car. You can't go out there without having consequences. You can't go out there with loose nuts on the car. You guys understand the significance of a tire. Well, building a bridge, you think they would understand the significance of every single joint and connection in the entire structure. And these guys did not. They did not. Again, at around 10 o'clock, I am going to go live, and I'm going to show you what the true shear failure looks like. Take care.